Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Good morning. So, last day we cannot conduct this session because of the weather problems, weather issues. But today we will have the session. Okay. And the articles which we are going to discuss today, let us have a look at this. We are going to discuss about two articles. One is with respect to this, one of the article is with respect to this global peace and US Iran conflict. That when we are talking about the global peace right now, it is being commonly said that Iran is one thing which is responsible for it. But actually, when we look at this, what we see that Iran may not be the only factor which is leading to this loss of the global peace or a threat to global peace. In fact, what we see that there are other nations who are also involved. So we are going to look into that. Then AI and India's preparedness. This is something which is very crucial topic. The preparedness of India with respect to AI. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. So I guess I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. Okay, so let's start this session and then we will discuss the let's start the session and then we will discuss some questions also at the end of the session. The first topic is about this part that there is a barrier to the peace and it is not Iran. There is a barrier to the peace and it is not Iran. There are some other countries which are responsible for it. So I think you are all aware. I think you are all aware about the conflict which is going on. This is something which has become a very common. This is something which has become a very common knowledge. Everyone is aware about this. That's what's happening on in case of Iran. Okay. Now here, when we look at this, that why the conflict is not ending. If we talk about this, why there is no end to conflict. Why there is no end to conflict. So, what do you think? Like this US Iran war is going on for quite some time now. It has been going on for quite some time now. There has been more than 100 days. This conflict is going on for more than 100 days. We have like March gone, April, May, and now we are in the almost mid of June. In the almost mid of June, we are here. And it has been more than 100 plus days. And yet, this war is not getting over. This challenge is not getting over. The conflict is not getting over. So now the question is that what factor is responsible behind it? Why there is no such end to this conflict? Why there is no such end to this conflict? So what are your thoughts on it? Good morning. I am quite good. So why we are not able to end this conflict? Any guess? Any idea? We all have seen already that there is a conflict going on. What is the impact of it? We have seen the impact on India. We have seen the impact on world. Everything we have seen. But now the question is why there is no end? Why this conflict is not getting over? Okay. Now here we can understand this one part. First of all, if we talk from US point of view, when we are talking about US point of view, when we are talking about the US point of view, the question here is that what US actually wants. Okay. We see that they have got a tendency. US has a tendency that they want deal as a victory. They want to tell the people that we have won the war, we have been able to curtail Iran, we have been able to like push Iran back. Okay. So what we see that US the want to project this deal as a victory. US want to project this war as a victory. Okay. And Iran is not ready for this. Iran is not ready for this. Okay. This time Iran is also holding its ground. It says clearly that there is no clear winner. There is no clear winner. There is no US which has gained something. There is no such gain to US. There is no such gain to Iran. There is no such gain to Israel. Israel as a state is not gaining something. The Prime Minister of Israel is having the benefit, but the Israel as a state is not having any such benefit. Okay. Then what we also see that US, it has its own domestic priorities or domestic political challenge. Domestic political challenge. What we see that they have projected inside their country from day one. They have projected inside their country from day one that we have won the war. We have got victory over Iran. Now, in the case of United States, what we see that now at the end of the day, now when the war is coming to almost an end, or if they want to have a deal with Iran, so they have to project the same image in their domestic politics. Otherwise, it will be a political challenge for them also. So US wants, and plus US also wants its influence in global politics. We have seen that during this war, US has lost its credibility in geopolitics. So it is trying to gain back geopolitical credibility. It is trying to gain back its geopolitical credibility. That is the point of view of US. Now, when we talk about the point of view of Iran, if we are talking from the Iran point of view, why the Iran is also not ready to have a deal as soon as possible. Okay. See, Iran also want to show to its own like people and the entire West Asia that it is not going to abide by US. Okay. So Iran wants its supremacy in West Asia. By stopping US, Iran has already got that fear, that edge which we see there. Iran has already got that edge in the case of West Asia by stopping US and Israel combined together. By stopping Israel and US combined together, what we see that Iran has already proved itself. So why it will take a step back? Okay. Second thing, it also wants long time security. This is basically because of lesson from past. Now you have to understand this. You have to understand this one part. In 2016 also, there was a deal between Iran and US with respect to this cooperation, with respect to this nuclear deal and everything. So there was a deal between Iran and US and European countries in 2015-16 also. And then after, when US president changed, when there was Donald Trump in power, then that deal was struck off. Then Iran was again under threat. So a deal was already finalized almost 10 years back. And after 10 years, Iran is not going to make the same mistake now. It is not going to make the same mistake now. It wants a deal which can have a long-term security. It can have a deal which can ensure long-term security. Third thing, it also want to contain Israel. It also wants to contain Israel. For Iran, US is not that much of a problem. For Iran, US is not that much of a problem. Israel is something which is a real threat. And this time what we see that Israel has become aggressive without any region. Israel is becoming aggressive without any region, without any facts. Okay. So what we see that then comes the part of Israel. Then comes the part of Israel. So in case of Israel, it is more of personal political gain. It is more of personal political gain. In the case of this Israel, we can see this one part from 2020 to 23 onwards, or we can say 23 onwards, they are continuing that war. From 23 onward itself, they are continuing the war, they are continuing the practice. Okay. So they have been extending it for a very long period of time. They have been extending it for a very long period of time. Why? Why they're extending it? Because if the war is over, there will be a domestic challenge in Israel. There is going to be a challenge with respect to accountability of the executive in Israel. Okay. So here they are going to face accountability challenges. They are going to face this accountability challenges. Okay. So in the case of this Israel itself, we see that their own personal political gain, their own personal gain is something which is letting the war continue, or which is stopping the war from getting over. You may have seen that many a times Iran and US are coming to the table. Iran and US are starting to negotiate a process, and meanwhile Israel starts attacking different part, sometimes in Lebanon, sometimes in Yemen, sometimes here, sometimes there. So Israel is one thing which doesn't want this war to be over. They don't want this war to be over, and the simple reason is, if the war is over, there is going to be a question on its political executive, that what they are doing for the country. They have engaged the country in a perpetual war. In a perpetual war. So first it was in the name of Hamas. Okay, it could have been over in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. But then they are stretching it just because they know it. If the war is over, then the people will ask question. So this is one of the challenge. Now at the same time, there is another challenge. There is another challenge. And that is the lack of international institutions. We see that United Nations has failed. We see that there is failure of United Nations. There is entire failure of United Nations. This group, the United Nations group, it has just become a source of like a discussion on those topics which doesn't even matter in global politics. It is just having its own General Assembly, having Security Council, having some meeting here, some meeting there. But it is not able to prevent any such humanitarian crisis. It is not able to get anything. So those people who are funding the different organizations of United Nations, they need to revisit this part. They need to re-ask this question. Does the United Nations really deserve any funding? What is the role of United Nations? They have not been able to stop a single war. Leave about stopping a single war, they have not been even able to negotiate. What they do, they just give that we condemn this. We condemn this war. This should not have happened. So United Nations is one such organization. United Nations is one such organization which has totally failed. So why there is no such end of conflict? One of the reason is there is also a lack of institution. I hope this one part is clear. Why the Iran and Israel conflict, Iran and US conflict is not getting over. So this is our first topic, Iran and Israel conflict. Okay. Now, coming to the next part. Okay. There is a company called as Anthropic. There is a company called as Anthropic. This has come with one AI model. There is one company, Anthropic. It has come with this one model called as Cloud Mythos. I think you may have heard about this one AI model. The Anthropic, it has come with one AI model called as Cloud Mythos. Okay. Now this one cloud model, this has one special ability. This has some special power. Okay. When we talk about this AI model, the Mythos, can you tell me what are its power? Are you aware? Are you aware about the power of this Mythos? Can you tell me what are the powers of this Mythos model? What is so challenging situation about this? I think you may have heard about this Mythos model. Okay. So what's so unique in this? What is unique in this Mythos model? No. Okay, let me tell you. Okay. This is a AI model. It can easily identify any vulnerabilities in software. It can easily verify, it can easily identify any such vulnerability in software. Like let's say we have .upsc.gov.in. Okay. So we are having this one website, upsc.gov.in. Now, if there is a hacker, if there is a normal hacker, it will take that hacker many days in order to identify any such gap, any such loophole in the security patch of this website. There is always a security patch. There is a security patch of the website. There is a security patch of this website. And what we see that if there is a normal hacker, if there is a normal hacker, if we see that if there is a normal hacker, then it will take long amount of time, long period of time. They are going to take long period of time in order to identify gap. In order to identify gap. And many a times what happens that the upsc.gov.in, it will have its own cyber experts. They will be having their own cyber expert. Now, they are also trying to find out. They also try to find vulnerability. So they will be having their own IT expert. They will be having their own IT expert who will be working on this part, that if there is any gap in the system, if there is any challenge in the system, they can identify it, they can solve it. So on one side, hackers will also be working. On one side, the cyber experts will also be working. Now in the middle of this, now we have got a cloud mythos model. If they are taking hundreds of days in order to find it, it can find it within a few minutes. Within a few minutes, it can easily identify any such gap in any software, any website, any such application. This is the capability. Now, you can understand this one thing. If we talk about the application, if we talk about its application, okay, on one side, we can see that software developers, they can use it to find a gap in their system. If we talk about this, what we see that the software developers can use it to find the gap in their system. That is one side of the story. But suppose that if there is a hacker, okay, or enemy country, terrorist group, so can they misuse it? Can they misuse it? Now the question is this one. We were already having a constant fear. We were already having a constant fear that it may happen that some hackers are going to hack into our system. They are going to steal our data. They are going to damage our financial systems. They are going to have a catastrophic impact on our digital economy. It was a perpetual threat. Now that threat is multiplied multiple times by existing of this mythos model. Okay. Now this is something, the cloud mythos. Now this is something which is possible that it can be used. Okay. It can be used to identify any gap, hack any website, leak the data, hack the data, damage the financial institution. So Mythos AI has the potential to find the vulnerability in any software, any application. So is it dangerous? This type of AI, should it be allowed? Should it be allowed for public uses? Should it be allowed for the public uses? Can it be given to everyone? Can it be made public that you can have a subscription and you can use Mythos AI? So what we see that if we are allowing it, now Mythos AI, what this Anthropic AI, it has said that it will allow only selective use, that too for authentic users. That it will allow it only for authentic users. Okay. It will be done only for authentic users. That is one side of the story. But you may be aware about this. Once the Chat GPT was developed, once we have seen that there was development of Chat GPT, then after we have seen that several other GPT platforms have been launched. There was beginning of this GPT by Chat GPT, OpenAI. But after this, we have seen that a series of different Chat GPT models have been launched. So is there a chance of proliferation? Is there a chance of proliferation of similar AI models? Is there a chance that we are going to have a proliferation of a similar AI models at a large scale? Okay. So what we see that this is something which can be very much common. This can be very much common. So it is going to pose a next level of challenge for India. Now, when we talk from India's concern, okay, when we talk about India's concern, what we see, okay, that our banking system, our UPI ecosystem, examination system, power grid, government database, digital public infrastructure. If we talk about this, all these things, the banking system, UPI ecosystem, examination system, power grid, government database, digital public infrastructure, each and everything is at stake. All these systems are at stake. The Mythos AI is only the beginning. The Mythos system is only the beginning of it. There are going to be many such other systems. There are going to be many such other systems, and it can become one of the major challenges. So what we see that all these infrastructures are going to be there. Okay. We see that we have got some strong digital infrastructure like UPI, Aadhaar, account aggregator. Okay. So we see that many of the backend systems, they remain vulnerable. Okay. Many of our critical system, they still rely on old software, legacy hardware, outdated security architecture, and particularly it is there in public sector bank, government department and state agencies. What we see here, okay, what we see here that our legacy hardware, outdated security architecture, old software, they are one of the major challenge. They are going to be one of the major challenge. So this is one thing why it is concerning for all of us. Okay, we don't have, there is a lack of a dedicated institution, which is like in the case of United Kingdom. In the case of United Kingdom, we are having a AI Security Institute, or in case of US, we are having AI Safety Institution. Okay, so we have no such dedicated body that can evaluate the frontier AI models, and accordingly, we can change our system, we can upgrade our system. So there is a lack of these facilities, there is a lack of these systems which can help in upgrading, our systems, even having knowledge of what problem may be existing. So this is one of the major challenges that what we can be doing, what we should be doing. Let us look into this. Okay, we can have Indian AI Safety Institute. For beginning, we have to build an institution. We have to create an institution which can focus on AI safety. We can also have, with these can test frontier AI system. They can assess the cyber security risk. They can conduct safety evaluation. They can coordinate with international institution and can potentially have collaboration with UK and US AI centers. So we urgently need a specialized body which can work on this dimension. The Mythos is a huge challenge for all the systems. And think about this, what is the scale of this challenge? Our entire financial system, our entire banking system, our government database, UPI system, all of these systems are at stake. All of these systems are at challenge. So we need to have an institution which can work in this regard, which can work for this very thing. Okay. So that is the proposal. Then second thing is we can have a cyber security modernization fund. This also suggestion is there that we can have a cyber security modernization fund. Okay. Here it has been said that we can have a 15 to 20,000 crore fund. This can be used for upgrading critical infrastructure, modernizing public sector bank, replace legacy system and strengthen cyber resilience. So we need an institution and we need a modernization fund. We need a system and we need a modernization fund also. So this is something which is required. At the same time, we can also have indigenous defensive AI models. We can partner with domestic deep tech firms. There are so many companies in India, so many institutions in India. which are looking at, there are so many other institutions in India which are looking at this part, that how they are looking at like upgrading their infrastructure. We have some of the most powerful software companies in India, so we can coordinate with them. We can coordinate with them and we can upgrade it. We can monitor the networks in real time, detect anomalies, and isolate compromised systems automatically. So we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade our infrastructure. We need to upgrade our infrastructure. We need to modernize our infrastructure. We need to have a real-time monitoring of the systems. We need to have a real-time monitoring of the system. We also need to have a fund for this, an institution for this. And at the same time, what we also see that we can also go for international partnership. We can also go for international partnership, like we can have AUKUS Pillar 2 for AI. Australia, UK, and other countries were having a part. So we can have a global alliance for this one thing. We can have a defensive AI alliance which can focus on US, UK, Japan, India. So we are already having multiple such collaborations. We are collaborating in critical minerals. We are collaborating on supply chain, on AI. So when we are collaborating on AI, we should be focusing on building a security model, building an alliance which is focused on security of the cyber area, cyberspace. Okay. So this is one thing. Access frontier AI cybersecurity capabilities. India's critical system can be tested against this. Share threat intelligence and build AI-based cyber defense mechanism. So now there is a next level of challenge coming up for us. Okay, there is a next level of challenge coming for us. So what we see that we need to upgrade. We need to change our system. We need to be ready with our system. We need to be ready with foreign alliances in domestic capabilities. We need to have a modernization fund. We need to have some institutions which can work on this purpose. So see, so ultimately what we have seen the challenge, its capability. Then we have seen that India's gap, and then we have seen the recommendation, that what needs to be done. What needs to be done. So these are the 4 elements which we have gone through in this one editorial. So I think now you can easily understand, you can easily write any question on the basis of this. Okay. You can easily write any question on the basis of it. I hope it's clear now. Okay, so many messages. UPSC PT result. I think it will be announced in a few days. I think in a few days it is going to be announced. Okay, same question multiple times. See, when I am teaching, I am not looking at the comment side. This is the camera side. This is the comment section. So when I am teaching, I am looking just at the camera. Okay. Then we have, see, morning classes is for editorial. Morning classes is for editorial, that is related to mains. And evening classes is more of PT oriented, prelims oriented. How to study PIB? Now tell me, why do you feel there is a need to study PIB? Why do you think there is a need to study PIB? Just go through the questions of UPSC 2026. Find any current affair question. Just do it. Most of questions you are saying that it is from there. So just do this one research. Take any question from UPSC 2026 of current affairs and search in any newspaper. Is it covered there or not? Just because one person said this, if you ask a government official that what is the source of question, will they say that it is coming from the Hindu or Indian Express? No. They are going to say that it is from the government news websites. And what is the government news website? PIB. Now look at any of the topic, whether we are talking about Vikram 64. When you are talking about any topic, pick any topic from current affairs of 2026. Search in a normal newspaper, the Hindu or Indian Express. You will easily find it. So just don't go with that flow, because one person once said that questions have been asked from PIB. So the entire population is going behind that. Now we will not read Hindu or Indian Express. We are going to read PIB. So sometimes apply your own mind. Look at the questions. ऐसा कौन सा क्वेश्चन आया करंट अफेयर्स में जो आपको लगा कि नहीं, दिस इज समथिंग विच इज आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स, विच हैज नेवर बीन सीन इन एनी न्यूज़पेपर? Tell me one single question. I'm not saying even like 5, 10. Tell me one single question which has been there in just PIB and not in any other newspaper. One single question which is just in PIB and not in any other newspaper. So PIB is a misguidance. PIB, just this, let me tell this you honestly, that people are saying that you should be reading PIB. That is the biggest misguidance. Okay. See, Ginny, there is one challenge that is of timing. There is one challenge which is of timing. Like when we are having the classes in 6 to 7, so it's not that between 5 to 6 I am having time. The problem is up to 6 there is already classes, and then after from 6 to 7 we have to start. So that is the biggest challenge. Okay. Now coming to this one part, there is this one question: the development of new AI tools are presenting a mammoth challenge to cyber security architecture of India. Comment. So this is one answer which you have to write. If we look at the question, last day I have given you this one question: discuss the trade challenges of India despite having several FTAs. Suggest measures to address the same. So how many of you have written this answer? Okay. If we talk about this question in the introduction, you can give that how many, like I have given you some facts. I have given you some facts with respect to this, that how many FTAs are there. We have seen this one thing, that how many FTAs are there. How many FTAs are there? So we have seen this one part, that how many FTAs are also going on there. Now at the same time, when we are talking about the second part, it is saying discuss the trade challenges. So you will mention this one part, challenges of trade. Then you will make subheadings. Like suppose you are making subheadings with respect to lesser benefit, or like tariff reduction. You are making one heading, tariff reduction, and here you can mention that the tariff reductions are not so much huge. There is only somewhat reduction in the tariff, so it is not going to be that much beneficial. Then you can mention about the other challenges, that our manufacturing capacity, non-tariff barriers. So you can mention the challenges one by one with respect to the trade of India. Okay. Then what we see, that at the same time you have to suggest the measures. So this question is quite simple. You have to suggest measures here. You have to give some points here also, that what can be done. Our free trade agreements which we are having, we need to rationalize it. We need to increase the trade competitiveness of our exporters. Okay. We need to also work on elimination of non-tariff barriers. So whatever suggestions we have to give in with respect to improvement of FTA, we can mention it here. Okay. And then you can mention in the conclusion part. Then you can mention on the conclusion part, you can just give a summary of it, that India's trade challenges can be tackled by having a rationalized FTA, improved domestic capabilities, and also this strong alliances or strong trade partnerships with other countries. or strong partnerships with like-minded countries. Okay, so this is one thing which you can mention, that in the conclusion you can mention that there is a need in order to have a rationalized FTA. There is a need of rationalized FTA, improved domestic capability, and strong partnership in order to boost India's trade with respect to other countries. Okay, so this is one thing which you can mention in the conclusion part. The first thing we are going to mention in the introduction part, that we have gone through so many FTAs and everything, the facts which I have told you last time. Then we will discuss the challenges of the trade one by one. Here you must be giving some subheadings like tariff reduction or non-tariff barriers. So you must be giving some subheadings because the topic here is discuss. So while discuss is there, you should try to have some subheadings and then you should be writing. Instead of directly writing the point, you can first give some subheading and then you can write. So that is one part which you have to do in challenge of trade. And then when you have to give suggestion, you can write it point wise also, or if you want, you can also make a flow chart of it. Both things are permissible. Okay. So this is one way of writing this answer. So I hope all of you have written it. This was an easy question. Today also you have got this one question. Today also they have got this one question. The development of new AI tools are presenting a mammoth challenge to the cyber security architecture of India. Comment. Okay. 8 minutes 142 words. Okay, that's good. So keep on writing these answers on a regular basis. Things are going to improve. I hope you have written some optional related answer also in this week. If I am not wrong, I think you may have written some optional related and some GS related answers also. Okay. So that will be all for today. Let's meet in the next session. And see, right now we are discussing 2 articles per day because of lack of time. But from next week onwards, from Thursday onwards, we will continue to have 3 articles discussion. Right now there is a time challenge. We have to finish it by 9. So that's why we are discussing 2. But from next week onwards, from Thursday onward, we will start with 3 articles per day. Okay. So that will be all for today. Thank you everyone. Take care and all the best.